what we have seen so far is either greatest common factor or difference of squares. Okay? So now what happens if I have a polynomial, right? A polynomial, a trinomial, so it's 3 terms, and there's no greatest common factor. How can I factor this? So, first, number one thing that you have to make sure that you have is you have a 1 as a coefficient for x squared. Okay. If the coefficient for x squared is not 1, you can't do this method. Okay? So, the coefficient of x squared is 1, so that's good. First thing that you want to do is you want to, so remember that this is a, this is b, this is ax squared plus bx plus c. So you're going to take c and you're going to say, I'm looking for 2 numbers that multiply to c. So you're looking for 2 numbers that multiply to your c number and add to b. Okay? So multiply to 12, add to 4. Okay? M represents multiply, A multiply represents add. Okay? So what 2 numbers multiply to 12? Actually, it's a negative 12. I forgot the negative. And add to 4. Give me numbers that multiply to 12 first. What? Negative 3 and 4. What else?
2.
So negative 2 and 6.
And itself, 12 itself.
So 1 and negative 12, let's say.
Because I think it's 2 and negative 2 and 6, no?
Why is it negative 2 and 6? It is.
Because 6 minus 2 is 4.
That's what
Okay? So 6 minus 2 is 4.
But that didn't register. Why?
Okay? So that means they add to 4, right? So 6 minus 2 is 4. So these are my factors. Okay? So you're going to have to kind of do the different things that multiply to your last term. Okay? And then you are going to pick the one that adds to your middle term. Okay? Now, we're going to have some rules about what happens when do I pick a positive and a negative. I'll go over these rules in a bit. Okay? I've already posted them in the class. But if we look right here, my B is positive and my C is negative, right? B is positive and C is negative. That means your large number has to be positive. You see how my large number, which is 6, is positive? And your small number has to be negative. And my small number is negative, right? Because what happens here, when I multiply negative 2 times 6, it's going to be a negative 12, right? Because negative times positive is negative. But when I add them, the bigger number is positive. So it's going to win. So your answer is going to be positive. Okay? So these rules are going to be on the board, right? Where you follow them. Okay? So if C is positive and B is negative, then your large is going to be positive and your small is going to be negative. Okay? So I found my factors. This is half of the battle. Found my 2 factors. Now my steps are the following. Create 2 sets of brackets. I created 2 sets of brackets. Okay? Remember, these are steps that you don't need to write. I'm just showing it to you so you can visualize it. Square root the first term of the polynomial and place 1 in each bracket in the first position. So if I square root x squared, what do I get? If I square root x squared is x.
X and X.
So I put an x here and an x here. Are you guys okay with this so far? Then put one of the factors found in step 1 in each of the following brackets. So I'm going to put a negative 2 and a positive 6. And it's factored. Okay? So remember, I'm going to go back here. I'm just going to erase this for a second. are the ones that I found up here.
Now, if you were to not follow the rule of the negative and the positive, would the answer still come out the same,
It won't be correct.
but it would be wrong?
It will be wrong. Right? If you ended up picking, let's say, -6 and 2, -6 and 2, they're gonna add to a -4. Right? So if you write -6 plus 2, then when you do your FOIL, you're gonna find that this is not what you have. Right? Okay, so again, you're gonna take your C term and your B term with their sign in front of them. Okay? You're gonna look for two numbers that multiply to your last term, to C, and add to B. Okay? First, it's easier to cite your factors. Okay? So two numbers that multiply to -12, 3 and 4, right? Or -3 and 4. -2 and 6, -1 and 12, right? There's many different answers for it. And then we pick the one that adds to 4. These rules that you guys see right here, they are the same as the ones I have written on the yellow sheet on the board, right? That are posted in the class. So if you want to make a table like this, right, or if you want to just look at this when you're doing your homework, feel free to do so. Let's do one example together. I am going to do which one? Let's look at F. So I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to what and add to what?
Multiply 22.
So multiply to 22, add to
-13.
-13. Right?
Negative 13.
-13. Okay? So what multiplies to 22? 11 times 2. Now before I write my factors, since it's multiplying to a positive number, so your C is positive and your B is negative. So which one do I have to follow? B is negative, C is positive. So B is negative, C is positive. So that means both my factors are negative. So you guys said -11 and -2. Does this look like they add up to -13?
No.
Good. I found my factors.
That's what I said, I look at the right one. That's what I said, I look at the right one.
Right? Another one would be -22 and -1.
Okay.
Right? -22 and -1 would be another one, but it doesn't work because when you add that, it's gonna give you -23, right? However, this one is gonna add up to -13. Right? So this is your factor. So what do I write here? What would be my answer?
It would be x and x plus -40. X -40, my bad.
Not 40.
-11, my bad. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, x minus 11,
X plus. Oh, minus
minus 2. Right? Because both of my answers are negative, right? So I have to write them as is. So x minus 11 and x minus 2.
I was just looking for the signs.
Okay? So try